So, this is the moment of truth, rightly or wrongly. Everyone's been asking for me to take the paint off my car. We've applied a pre-removal process to the car.
Yeah.
A part of that is to basically create an edge, because there's no edge on it, because it's not a wrap, it's paint.
The colour's been on your car, that's been protecting your car, and you can see how physically
crazy! It's so weird seeing it on the car.
And then also to note is that this is paint.
Yes, it's not a wrap. It looks like a wrap, but it is paint.
But look at the flexibility. Paint normally is so brittle and would just flake and crack. This is so flexible.
It's so
Which
crazy.
allows it to be so durable. And you know, now we'll just go...
It was a nice colour, actually. Part of the reason we're doing this is because now we have an entirely new interior in the car. We are going to match the paint to complement some of the carbon tinting, and in order to do that, you just tear off the paint, and off you go. You ready? Massive sheet. That is so weird.
Big chunks.
The paint itself isn't peelable because it's real paint. The peelable thing is that there. That is the membrane that allows it to come off the actual car. So that is the really helpful stuff there, because if we didn't have that, well, the car would be permanently that. So obviously the majority of it comes off in one peel. What do you do, or what's the process with regards to like tight edges and things like that?
So obviously when we do these paint jobs, even though they are removable, we want them to look like an area factory job. So these trims, as you see the roof gut trims, they'll be removed and we spray behind that.
Yes.
So it looks like a factory job, but we simply just remove the trim, peel it away from there, but replace the trim back in. Same as the exterior quarter glass trims, these just been clipped, we've painted underneath so it looks like a factory area job, and they will then just peel it off. These really small little bits that sometimes left, these will literally, probably small too, I can just pick them off, but what we do is we get an air system and it blows any of these tight little bits that are just stuck to the edges off with an air gun, and then obviously when the car's clean we just check for any additional bits, and these bits just come off absolutely perfectly, just like this.
Back 24 hours later. Now, the importance of sharing this is because, quite rightly, every single car that we've sprayed and demoed, the comments are, yeah, but what's it like to peel off? And we've been dying to show you a car, and we are about to respray this another colour, which is why it's not completely rebuilt. In fact, the panels are kind of hanging on, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
But the purpose of it is to show you that when it comes off, it really comes off. And Cameron's left off this section here to show you in all of the nitty-gritty tight bits. And we've gone over the car and filmed a load of B-roll of the steel and the stuff. I mean, inside the door cards. Like, behold, no blue.
It's crazy to think that genuinely that was a completely different colour.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know why it's been with this product. No one questions it with a wrap. Does it come off?
Yeah.
Yeah, but with this, and I understand it because it's paint, and obviously paint gets in places that you wouldn't expect. It certainly gets in places that a wrap won't. And yet, look at it. I mean, the area I'm probably the most impressed with is down here. You haven't removed the glass.
The glass has been stayed intact the whole entire time, and we've left the top part of the ducktail off here to show that all of this was painted. Like genuinely, the whole of this was blue, and then you can see it even in those tight, crevices, and genuinely just come out. And I think that's the ultimate. It's great for the car. Painted, looks a new colour, but if it doesn't come off, then it defeats the whole object. And I think, unfortunately, early on in the product's life, there were people doing it who weren't able to do it properly in terms of allow it to peel off.
You've developed something that is really special.
It makes me smile every time because it genuinely does come off. This was your car. The first time you brought it to me, it was like this.
Like this? Yeah, it was.
And now it's back to like this.
In fact, what is quite cool, anyone who's probably joining this and hasn't followed the whole journey, this ducktail was actually black.
It was
black. You sprayed this with real paint.
With real paint to grey.
So if you do want a car respraying, we don't have to do removable.
No,
we can do
all sorts of paint.
Actual paint. So we're super transparent. This moment is the moment that I know people have been sitting on the fence going, I want to see it come on.
Yeah.
It's off. I'm as relieved as you are. Things like this. Look at that. Intricate parts where there's like tight folds and creases. No previous colour. Hinges, seals, all of the seal along here.
We'll pull back the curtain a little bit as well. I mean, this was all painted. I don't know if you remember, but this was all painted blue. So, you know, genuinely not hiding anything at all. So, yeah, I'm really excited for the new colour. But it's also nice to see it back in grey, you know. It's a reminder of everything that's happened. And the interior actually works well with this colour. But I think the one we've got planned is going to be pretty special.
Come on, let's get in the mix shop. Get at it. New colour!
It's a massive M colour. It was a BMW individual colour. The reason behind it was that Porsche do Gentian Blue. You couldn't order, obviously, on your car. I think they come out on the 992 models. I think your car would look amazing in it, but there's so many Gentian Blue cars, we don't want another one.
Yeah.
What we want to do is show people that if there's a colour that you like on a, you know, a product that's already out there, but you want it a little bit different, again, you don't have to stick with Porsche. We can go any direction we want.
Yeah.
San Marino's got a lot of pearl in, and if you paint it in a such way where you drop coat it, which means you spray from an angle, the metallic and the pearls fleck, so they go lighter, and in the sunshine you just see this glistening. So I love that. I absolutely love it.
Anything when he lights up and he talks about paint.
I really do. I've actually had a car in San Marino Blue, yeah, and I probably spent, no word of lie, about 30 hours just purely polishing it, sanding it back down, polishing it, waxing it, and I took it home and filled it with paint. Again, but anyway, I'm going to get mixing paint.
This is the paint that was on the GT3 that we pulled off. We've got it in here because this is probably the best demonstration as to how removable paint works. So, 2 layers. This layer goes down first. So this is the... When it goes on the car, it goes down as like a matte finish, a sort of satin finish. That's the important bit. That is the peelable bit. If that doesn't go down, well, you're painting your car permanently in that colour. Proprietary mixture, this stuff. And then this is real, just standard industry paint. We supplied by PPG.
PPG and Envirobase.
So these guys supply the likes of Ferrari, Lamborghini,
all the Italian brands really.
Yeah.
Lamborghini, Maserati, Ferrari, and they used to do BMW as well. PPG, you know, got a real extensive background in water-based products, so no harm to the environment. It's actually called Envirobase, which is a massive benefit. And then on this computer here, I've actually just typed in BMW and I've put blue. But as you can see, I've got San Marino here, and I've got any blue BMW colour, you know, from 22 onwards, slate blue, frozen, tanzanite blue, all individual colours, indigo blue, dating back. Here we've got colours from the early 2000s, blues. What you've got is a prime shade, so every colour has a colour code related to it, so you what's in it, but there's always different shades of the colour. So you can have a prime or a darker. If we go for specials here, you've got a lighter flop, coarser, a redder, and a more vivid shade. You've got quite a few different shades there, probably about 7 or 8 in total.
So we can choose from variations of the same San Marino.
Of the same San Marino. Now that's because San Marino will be painted on lots of different cars, so like you have M3s, M6s, cars dating back from early to late. That same paint was mixed 10 years ago to this time to it alters. Believe it or not, there's more blues in this colour. Then you got the violet pearl, you got some more pearl, another bit of blue, which is different to the rich blue, and a tiny bit of black.
0.3 grams of black.
0.3 of a gram of black.
One of the things which, this is giving you like a real top line overview, but it transpires that creating colours is a genuine science.
So we've got all of the colour apart from the 4.7 of jet black. So we're just going to set it and see the difference of a tiny bit of black that makes. However,
Even at this stage, it looks so cute. Oh, look at that! It is a galaxy in there, man.
yeah.
Wow, the orange interior against that's pretty bright.
Such a beautiful colour. It will dry a little bit darker, so it might look really quite light at the moment, but it's water. When it's dry, it will be darker. However,
we're about to drop a little bit of the black in.
Drip a little bit of black in, which it will help it. You've got jet black and a deep black.
I'm just about to ask you because I didn't
So, jet black, both black, all the different black.
Okay. Alright, so the black's in.
The black is now in, so if we just go,
So we can put something like that.
see the difference.
It's tiny, isn't it?
It is tiny.
It's subtle, it just makes it
But
a
what
little
you
bit
won't see, if you put yours on a side angle, like a real side angle, you should
Oh yeah.
be able to see that this one is a bit darker. It's really hard to tell. There we go. That is the colour.
the best car museum in the...
Today from the beautiful lobby bar here at the Kempinski Hotel in Budapest, the day after Daniel Ricciardo's comeback race. In this video I'm going to share with you a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that you would not have seen on television or perhaps on social media. When? In 8 seconds time. What a lovely treat to see Daniel Ricciardo back on the grid for Sunday's race here at the Hungaroring Ring. Daniel is immensely popular. Have a look at Instagram, it's a pretty good gauge. There are only 3 drivers with more followers than him, and they are Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. I imagine most of Daniel's 8.4 million followers looking in very keenly to see how he went on Sunday. And as you know, the start wasn't the best. He was relegated back to last at turn 1, but he did fight back through the field to end up 13th in, passing his teammate Yuki Tsunoda in the process. Of course, we all know that Daniel's return was a surprise, replacing but let's go back to Thursday. I'll give you a rundown of what I saw when I came into the track very early because I wanted to catch his arrival. I first of all on the Wednesday though went out and took these pictures of Daniel's garage. This was my biggest post of the weekend. In fact, it was probably in my top 15 posts ever. I did notice that they were still running Nick pics on the screens at the back of the garage with this pic from the British GP. At the time of taking these shots, I didn't see any of the number 3 on the car. In fact, I couldn't even find a nose cone for his car. That wasn't visible until the Thursday afternoon. So day 1, which was Thursday for us, media day, Daniel was the first driver to arrive, to be precise, at 9:26 a.m. He parked his Honda Civic Type R, and yes, he'll be driving those cars a lot this year, obviously, because that's what the AlphaTauri drivers normally drive. He then walked underneath the tunnel, up the stairs and into the paddock, and it's a walk of about 30 metres from where they come up the stairs to the Red Bull Energy Station. So what was he wearing? Well, you can see for yourself his own label on Shonta, shorts, t-shirt, Gucci backpack, which he carries often to races. And who did he arrive with? It was Blake Friend, his brand manager. Interestingly for me, no trainer. I was expecting to see Stuart Smith. Stuart Smith, well, he's the trainer that worked with Daniel many years ago, also worked with Daniel Kvyat. And I believe Stuart was with Daniel in the post-British GP testing out at Silverstone. So at 9:26 on a Thursday, there's very few media in the paddock, so I had that pretty much to myself along with the video cameraman. But in the background you can see a Netflix audio guy. They were very much onto the story and it will play a huge part in one of the episodes, if not a couple, next year. And was Heidi Berger with him over the weekend? Well, we didn't see her at the track. But the only other 2 that I saw were Nick and Roman from CAA, which is Daniel's management company, and they were there on all 4 days. Next up on the agenda for Daniel was a seat fitting out in the garage. Once again, still can't see the nose cone with the number 3 on it. It was probably a 10-minute or so commitment, and it was back to the energy station on the scooter. And I thought he might ride that scooter the whole weekend because there's a distance of some 250 metres from the Red Bull energy station to the garage. But I think that was the only time he rode that scooter, and thankfully for us, he had his race suit on, so he looked great. And of course, as he went away from me, I could see the number 3 on his back. Next up for Daniel, I think he headed off to do some TV stuff, and I'm going to take a punt here, but it was the play-ons for the actual F1 telecast. And then at noon, he held a press conference inside the energy station, and this was a big press conference. Now, as photographers, we're not allowed in there, but certainly we could see, because 2 of the windows were open to the energy station, there was a large crowd of reporters hanging on every word. And the media guy from Red Bull with him, and there was a large contingent of media outside photographing what was going on inside. After that, he came out of the energy station and he was met down the bottom by Rachel Brooks from Sky. She spent probably 5 or 10 minutes chatting with him, and pretty much the questions were around his return. How was he going to approach it? And the gist of the answers were 1 race at a time, he's happy to be back, it's going to take a little while to perhaps get up to peak, but I think pretty much everybody realises he's not going to come straight out and blitz the field if he's going to do that at all. And while he was doing that interview with the long lens, I managed to get a close-up of this, a bracelet promoting his clothing brand. A couple of hours later was more questions from the media, a press conference room where he and the only other Australian driver, Oscar Piastri, were on the couch. A lot of the questions were aimed at Daniel about the return. And I think when you look at it, McLaren copped a lot of hate when they let Daniel go. And now AlphaTauri copped a fair bit of hate too for letting Nick go. But in time, it sort of tends to be water run of the bridge, and the F1 world just goes on. What I did appreciate, though, from Tom Clarkson was him asking the question about his trainer, because Michael Italiano had been with Daniel for a heck of a long time. At the end of the season, when Daniel obviously wasn't going to get the gig this year, Michael ended up going with Yuki Tsunoda. And the irony, of course, now is that he's working for Daniel's teammate. Well, as we know, they're not really teammates, they're team competitors. And there was much chat as to whether or not Michael would jump ship and go back to Daniel. Well, Daniel explained in that press conference that he was pretty much a lone wolf this year. He'd done all of his training on his own since he left McLaren, but he would be taking Peru Salmela. Now, Peru is a lovely fellow. I've seen the video I did where I trained with him in Bahrain going back a year and a half ago now. He trained Nick De Vries. He's employed by AlphaTauri, so they've obviously said, right, well, you can be Daniel's, technically not trainer, more of a PA organiser, someone who gets Daniel's gear ready, and you can see him in the background here on the track on Sunday before the race, just making sure the helmet's there, the gloves, the drink, all that sort of stuff, but not taking a traditional training role. So that leaves us with two drivers in the paddock without a traditional trainer, because Lewis Hamilton has not effectively replaced Angela Cullen with someone at the track. So we're still on Thursday, and at the end of the day, Daniel heads off on a track ride, riding this Basso bike with his own number 3 on it. Let's jump to Friday now. He was in early once again, wearing an AlphaTauri top. Sunny's white, he had a different pair on than the day prior, and I couldn't find any label on the label. You know what he was wearing. The first session on Friday was wet, some great pictures in the rain. In the second session, the afternoon was dry. He didn't exactly set the world on fire, but I don't think many people expected him to. And then his last commitment on Friday was the driver's briefing. On Saturday, he arrived at 10 a.m. The paddock was a lot busier. He made his way to the energy station. And then before FP3, he took off for the long walk to the garage. And my gosh, it was tough getting a clean shot of the driver. Thankfully, that walk is long, 250 odd metres. In the first 200, he was just getting hammered by selfie taker after selfie taker. And he was very good with them. He gave them all a little bit of time, but I'll give you a tip here. If you ever want to selfie, do not expect the driver to stop. You've got to walk and shoot. It just makes me laugh. I think people thinking that a driver on his way to a session is going to stop for them. I walked with him the whole length of the paddock. Was lucky to get these shots at the end with nobody around. And then Saturday afternoon, on quali, I thought he might struggle. That wasn't the case. He ended up 13th, which was a fair effort, and a couple of places in front of Yuki. I went to the back of the FIA garage and caught these pictures of him coming out smiling. It should be known too that he spent a good 5 minutes inside that FIA garage. Normally you wouldn't be able to see in there, but you could get a rough idea with the reflection. He took off his fireproof top, toweled himself down, put on an AlphaTauri shirt, and then ended up coming out to face the media. On the way, being greeted by Fabiano, who does the PR for AlphaTauri. Next up, race day. Daniel in around 10 a.m. went through the swipes, and look at his pass photo here. This is some years old. He's wearing a white collared shirt, and I gather a tie and a jacket. Then was off to the energy station. He's wearing some Enchante short because it was warm, an AlphaTauri shirt. Headed off into there, was pretty much holed away for most of the morning until the driver's break. He joined the other 19 guys on board a bus. Then it was time to get in the car for his first race with AlphaTauri in many years. And who's his race engineer? That's Pierre Hamlin, who worked with Nick De Vries, prior to that with Pierre Gasly. Now, I was positioned at turn 2 for the start, so I didn't get to see all the shenanigans that went on at turn 1, but as the field passed me, I was acutely aware that it was last. I thought, what the hell has gone on there? It wasn't until I got back late last night and had a look at the vision thing, got cleaned up and relegated back to last, but a great effort getting back to 13th. After the race, I didn't see much of him. I was out the front shooting Lando Norris's incredible second place and another win for Max, but later on in the evening, I did see him come back from the garage, and he was sprinting down that paddock because he wasn't at all interested in stopping for anyone. He wanted to get back there, and a short time later he left and gave us away as he did so. So would he have been happy with his performance on the weekend? Well, I'm going to say yes. And I think the general F1 population thought that he was going to take some races to get back into it. And of course he's driving a car that is nothing like the Red Bull that he shone in during the testing after Silverstone. But I think AlphaTauri, I think Red Bull and he will be very happy with the way he went. Certainly the media lapped it up because it was such a great story. And a couple of you said on my Instagram page, "Oh, you just love Daniel Ricciardo." I like Daniel, he's a great guy. But I'm a businessman. I put up what you want to see, and it was very clear that there was a huge appetite for Daniel content on weekend. At this stage, I'm going to suggest you go to prostarpigs.com, search Daniel's name if you're a fan, and see all of my pictures of him. You'll find on my kimmelman.com website F1 photo books, wall art, signed prints by drivers and team principals, plus merchandise, and for my best images live from the track. And during the week, go to Instagram and search @KimMillman. Oh yes, I'm on Threads now too, and TikTok, and Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks for watching. Stay passionate. Clothing wise, the Alpha Tauri top, which the drivers own, pretty much. Hello James, you want to be in my video? This is James from Alpha Alpine.
Today is the last day at Goodwood, and as you can see, we're all back on. I brought my friend Alex, he's going to have a look at the car. Alex has come to check over the car, but all being well, we will get to go hill, and not even once, but actually twice. On Friday, when I last drove this car, it drove like an absolute dream. Apart from one huge problem, I had no brakes. I wasn't sure if they just weren't warming up or whether there was an actual problem, so I got some help. So Alex has come today, he's a professional mechanic. Professional. He's actually worked on this car, a friend of mine, and he said he'd be able to help us with the brakes. He's diagnosed the problem, but unfortunately we could do nothing about it today, which is the problem because it was fine on Friday, so just got to suck it up. Basically, there's a massive great big master cylinder, which means you need a strong leg. That's the one with me false knee. Right. But hey, again, just had the call. We're supposed to be in the car. I had no idea how early it got there. So now we're in trouble, but at least I'm not so stressed. Have you done time pressure? I've only got a cable tightened up there. Less we can do with that. I was reversing then and my leg was going like that.
It's having a nervous shape. Just drive. Just get in the car and drive.
Doesn't seem so easy now though.
Have you done fuel?
I haven't checked fuel actually.
Oh, shut up. You are joking.
Luckily it's only there. Fuel. I'm scared to press the button.
Bang.
Oh no! Don't take 20. Yeah, we got those. Oh, I thought it took 30 then. I got enough for all day there. Eat for enough.
Hey, thanks for all you bringing here. That's really cool.
No, it's a bit scary for me. I'm raising viruses, so I'm a little bit up and down.
Well, that's a blast up.
Probably not. Why not? Because I'm scared I'm going to stall it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, something like that.
Well, you meant to do it.
When you drive down there,
Trying to get anti-lag off. Now, if you don't know what anti-lag ALS is, it's a system to keep the turbo spinning, giving you a much faster flow response. But more importantly, it makes sounds like this. Think about it, something. Anti-lag's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. You ready? Do you know if I had some right, I'd be having a lot. If I put some heat in them now, then if that makes a difference.
It will make a difference. You'll actually get that. You get that bite now that you won't feel it before. Just hard drop the gym card at the end anyway.
Yeah, cheers. So this is the RX-43, the rocket ship. And somehow I own it, and I'm sat in it, and I'm at the bottom of Goodwood Hill. How the hell did this happen? Terry Graham has been amazing. Alex, obviously, coming today in his elbows, and obviously the usual Nick, absolute legends. Rich for getting ready, and obviously for his enjoying his holiday in Greece for just being the fucking hardest working person I know. And then of course, my beautiful wife, my dad, and my little absolute angel Senna. On days like this doesn't get to see a daddy, but hopefully one day she'll look for back and approach a chicken and she'll go up there. It's wicked. Hopefully without crashing or something. I did try. Is it no heating up?
They're cold.
Right, we got no brakes, there we go. All good.
Right, I'll find out.
That's it, that's all we got.
Use both things.
Well, that was pretty exciting. Got the job done. Nobody's dead. Car's in one piece. Anti-lag is hitting. Can't wait to do that again this afternoon.
Matt, how are you? Good to see you. Oh my gosh. Max drove the RS200 as well. And he was saying it's just like a freight train. It was amazing. That quiet. Oh, it felt good, didn't it? That's how it should be.
Max is on his way over to the village.
It was mental. Amazing. Loved it. Are you all running good?
Yeah, the ALF cylinders.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, let's go for it.
You ever set tyres gone?
You make it up alright?
Yeah, we're lying. Anti-lag. All good. Just want to say thank you to everybody. Like, this opportunity is only here because of YouTube. I'm so fortunate it opens doors like which would have never been open. I'm meeting people which I've only dreamt of meeting. And that's simply only because of YouTube.
Again, they did put you on the stream.
Typical. Must be because of all the heroes. So there's like Tom Christensen, Mark from Redditch, Travis Pastrana. Brilliant. Missed off again.
How much fuel?
11 litres. 20. So I'm using about 5. Oh, there we go. 4.5. I can use 11 on the next one. That's like way more.
Right, are you going to do donuts?
I am a donut. Can't be doing donuts. Have you been in the past? I assumed you'd been in. No. Just beat you. That's the guy racing us. That wasn't Snowrunner, that was the rally was going on. We were all in awe of it because it was the fastest going rally. It was the race against it a lot.
I did. I had this crash me and I crashed it quite a lot.
So this is the last run. I'm so glad we managed to do this. And the one I'm looking forward to the most because I think I've built a little bit of confidence, but because of the car, I want to meet through everybody. I can't go 100%, I can't go 90, I can't even go 80, I think 70%. I'll try, but I cannot crash this car. Cannot crash it.
Doing it wrong. Alright. Are we going to get
No. I don't know, I doubt it.
all in favour of doing a launch? Yeah, look, I see outvoted.
Keep my hand up.
Behind you down.
Behind you down.
That's the yeah, he's voted for.
Yeah.
Do you want to see this car do a launch?
You want to see this car do a launch? Yeah. Of course I want to see this car do a
Behind
launch.
if you want to see it.
That's
3 for 1.
I like play this game.
Such a brief run hanging around these cars like yourself. I found myself in a NASCAR. What do you think to it? You look around it.
She's a sweetie, isn't she?
Sweetheart, mate. I'm Pamela Anderson. Good back then and better now, I reckon.
It's like a death trap.
I know. It's basically fastest coffin on 2 wheels, or 4 wheels. 200 mile an hour. That's a fast old coffin, that is.
How you feeling?
I feel a little bit better this time. I feel a little bit under pressure.
Did you warm your brakes up on the way down?
As much as I could. talking and worrying about just pressing all the buttons at the same time. It's like one of them, isn't it? See on the other side. Right, now I'm nervous. Here we go. Same as before. What a launch! Whoa! No, that sounds horrific. Absolutely horrific. It's slowing down. It's really slow. I'm going to try switching it on till I go. No, that's even worse. This sounds horrific. I can't stop. I hope it doesn't damage it more. What do I do? What's it? It's broke. Oh, what a nightmare. There's something wrong with it. Oh, I'm devastated. Oh, damn. What's that? Broke. Like it went, it seemed to set up alright, and then it like something went wrong, I think.
You see it's running a boost one.
I don't know. So looking forward to that all day. I've got absolutely nothing.
Looks okay, you feel it's like down here. Just leave a bit of a gap in it, blip.
Honestly, I'm crossing Alex.
No, you'll be fine, it's everything's fixing.
I was proper careful as well. Like, we did everything, we changed everything, we got everything prepared, we couldn't have done it any more. I think the boost, something wrong with the turbo, I think. It's noisy, isn't it? So super gutted about that last one, was really looking forward to it, but hopefully, like Alex said, everything's fixable. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hopefully we'll be back next year and you'll be with us. See you next week.
I didn't know my car could do that.
Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to sunny, beautiful Ukraine, and welcome to a very exciting video because we're here. Thank you very much for inviting me to do a lap in your R8 D10 with a couple of mods, you said. So coming over, which will be an issue because today we
Never done that one in Mexico before. Is it first time?
yeah.
You go sideways for the
Good morning, comrades. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to sunny, beautiful Ukraine. Although we have some dark clouds coming over there, which should be an issue because today we have this BMW X6M, and as the livery is giving it away, it's not completely stock. First of all, modified grille, because that's what you do on modern BMWs, right? Custom plate that stands for the initials of the owner. And we can see also lots of many brands over here. Most importantly, EV Racing, brakes, with endless paths. So I've been told that because of the different paths, the car is showing a warning, like, hey, replace brake pads because it doesn't have the stock sensor. Very, very good. On top, surface transforms discs, the brake discs, so braking power should be good. Pilot Sport 4S tires with a star. This means it's a BMW spec tire, so it's actually quite similar to a Cup 2, I would even say. A crapulage exhaust on the back, and most importantly, everything combined, it has also a gentle power upgrade. 752 horsepower, this means the car's been on the dyno, and over 1,000 Nm of torque. On top, what I want to say is actually this car I spotted last year in a TF car park when I was, remember the days when I was still vlogging and I was doing onboard every single day. And I really love this sentence, fuck cancer, because, well, my dad died of cancer, and the owner actually saw that video of mine, and he said, well, he told his story that I'm going to keep to myself because it's personal, but yeah, it's very cool that he also, not very cool, it's sad that he has lost also a relative of his, a very close person, but he actually is spreading the message. Not only that, but you can also see lots of other slogans, never give up, be happy and little crazy, and I think there was also something on the back, there was one that I liked. Well, today's a good day, definitely. Here, this one, save the planet, but don't be a dick. Yeah, we can all be nice and try to contribute our part, we don't have to go to the extremes. Is 752 horsepower X6M going to save the planet? Well, it is if it's going to be running on biofuels, but anyway, that's a bit of more of a discussion. Let's hop in and do a lap. Very excited, because I believe you are happy with SUVs. Fast SUVs are on the channel. Okay, let's go, let's go. One more thing that I want to show you. We just did a lap, so we survived. Spoilers ahead. I think it got a bit darker now. Yeah, the brakes got a bit darker. Yeah, they were a bit red, but we made them completely black. But the noise that you're hearing is actually passive active brake cooling. Look at that. You can turn it off. And you can turn it also back on. Fans on the brake. And it works, because we had smoking brakes, so when we turn it on, they stop smoking, or at least less. Fantastic. So, enjoy the lap.
To be very curious, sport.
I haven't like really tried it much, but because I drove the M3 Touring last week, and the sport was good. I did like the brakes to be in comfort, yes, because you have better.
You are not the first.
Yeah, because the sport just needs a little ABS. It's too much, and the engine I do as a sport because then I have also a bit more control. It's not too direct. Yes. You gonna do launch control or something? What are you doing? Never done that with an X6 before. Is that what's that? Yeah. To go sideways with an SUV. Now we're a bit hot on the rear pressures. A bit high pressure. I love how there's actually no traction. Good one. Need to warm out the tires still. That's the X-Drive Sports that lets the rear really rotate. Fantastic.
gonna be fun. Oh, this is shit.
I brake so much sooner than I should be because I'm not used to such a car having good brakes. So I'm consciously like being extra safe, but it can brake so much later. So good job on the brakes. Thank you. Really good. I was too excited to jump in the carousel. Amazing car. Like, the suspension is slightly lower, right? But lower. There's occasion. Yeah, because that's the hit now the limiting factor. If the car is still solid. I'm really happy. You cannot jump the God's car. I know, it's... Oh, thank you, I enjoy it. Very important hardcore experience. It's a very good car. Yeah. No, like I said, suspension now needs to change because everything else is so track-oriented. I feel like I was really surprised how the car handles and like even like the speed of sideways we had. catch it, no problem. Brakes also no fading here, yes. Yeah, because of the blower on the brakes, that's really easy. Fantastic. No, I enjoy it. Thank you so much for this, for inviting me to this experience. Well, temperatures stay okay, although we have also lots of yellow flags, of course. But I'm sure the car can handle it. It's a good boy. Good job. I like it. It's different. And as mentioned, I really love the messages here about love. So that's a very nice touch. Tire pressure 3.5 bar all around. That's bad. I mean, either, I don't know. It wasn't me. Thanks again. It's amazing. Thank you very much. Sure.
LA a few weeks ago, and I finally have my desk setup done. Out of all of the over-the-top desk setups that I've had, I've never had an L desk, and that's what I think is really making this truly a different experience. I basically took my Texas desk setup and redid that here, but I haven't shared it with you, so there's a lot of good knickknacks and things. Oh, it just feels very good to have this setup. Shout out to Riverside for sponsoring this video. If you do any type of video content, podcasting, meetings, etc., where it's important to get good video and good audio recorded online when you're talking to someone else, Riverside is what you should use. I personally use Riverside a ton when I'm interviewing people or I'm the one being interviewed. We'll talk a little bit more about them later. Let's talk about this desk. All of the stuff is in the room that will be my office, which is in here. I'm going to show you guys the way that I'm talking. Don't judge me, guys. Okay? It's hard to know where to start. I don't even know where my PC is, if I'm being honest. Perfect. It's in this corner that is completely inaccessible. It's right here. This is the neon peach in here. Don't worry, we still got it, guys. This room will have 1 month left in it. Okay, cut to crazy time off montage of me rebuilding my entire festival. I'm like free tired. Actually got in the office a little bit more accurate. I ignore that one. I don't want to call it started the unpacking because I was in search for this one box because it had my mechanical keyboard in it and all my things that I use every day and all of my creative life bugs and I put some shit and that was the desk. Sitting on my Scott forecasting. It's a full day adventure, but here we are. Okay, the desk is pretty much done, but on the last desk, in there, I didn't have a fancy mic and camera setup just ready for podcasts and interviews, and this is on to set that up, and then I just ended up not using a fancy camera or audio. So I just got a huge package from Go to fix that problem. Oh my gosh, they hooked it up! Powerful XLRs? Okay, this is what I'm excited about. And there's a kitty box. Kitty box. So we're still trying to unpack things around the house. So around me still doesn't look perfect, but to have this set up is so great. And for the past couple of years, I always told myself, oh, if I'm going to do an interview, I'll just go to my office and set up a fancy setup, right? And I'll just plug my laptop into my A10 Mini Pro and do that. I never did that. So I was like, I have to set up a good podcasting setup with a nice mic and at least one step above a webcam, because when it comes to those things, I stay right here. I do not go to the fancy setup. So that's what I wanted to focus on. So let's start with those parts of it. What you saw me just unbox is the Rode Streamer X. Now, Rode has been releasing a lot of really great new stuff. Previously, I had the Rodecaster on my desk, but it was just way too big, and the Streamer X solves more problems than the Rodecaster 2 because it also has a video input. So it's essentially a 2-in-1 audio and video interface for streamers, woo! But it also works really great for podcasts and Zooms and things like that. What's really great about this Streamer X is you can use the full resolution out of your camera. So I have a ZV-1 up there, and I can stream or do a Zoom with the full 4K image, not just the 720 that it would output via the USB-C, which is a huge win. So on the mic, I am actually using a Blue microphone mouse. I just this is so overkill for a desk setup, but I just really fell in love with the sound of that mic. This podcast is the goat of podcasting. Okay? It's the stand that all of the fancy podcast studios would have, but no YouTubers used to have them. So it was a hunt for it initially, and now everyone has it. The only downside is for some reason the clamp that comes with it is too big for most modern desks that are more thin. This is the fully sit-stand L desk, and so I have to put a piece of cardboard or something thick underneath it to essentially make my desk thicker, so you can crank the clamp enough for it to actually grip the desk. Does that make sense? What, everyone has desks that are like this thick? Can I say my opinion? My name is Sarah Gucci-Rasputin, if you're new around here. Smash that subscribe button. Let's move to this light. I used to just use an Elgato key light for the meetings and things that I would have. I don't like the fact that I can only control it via my computer. So I have aperture lights everywhere. All of my lights are connected to Sinus Link, which I can control on my phone, on my iPad, which I always have on my desk. This is the P60C, which I really like. This is a RGB light, so I have way more flexibility with my choices, and it's obviously more powerful if I can spin it out to this room. I need to use it for a video or something like that. And speaking of that awesome desk podcasting setup that I have going on here, do you do any kind of podcast or video meetings where you need to record the highest quality audio and video? Well, Riverside, our sponsor for this video, is the answer to that. Let's actually pop over to the setup real quick so you can see Riverside. Okay, so let me tell you about Riverside. Riverside is your online recording studio. You can easily record podcasts and videos in studio quality from anywhere, all from your browser or your mobile app. I've recorded a good deal of remote podcasts, and I'm telling you, Riverside is a game changer. Those podcast interviews that you're listening to, it was probably recorded with Riverside. You're probably thinking, well, why can't I just record my podcast on the video meeting apps I use every day? Well, what's up?